Well,
Fields.
beautiful day. Great to
It
be here,
is.
Dr. Nelson and Alia. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all
Good
you guys.
morning, everyone.
Good
It's
morning.
the 29th of October, 2025. And we're coming live from San Antonio,
San
Texas,
Antonio, Texas.
and from Virginia, right?
Virginia. Yep.
And from an undisclosed location south.
South of the border. I'll be in Chicago next week, so I will. I'll be there. There you go. I'll be in Illinois.
So please put in the chat where you're watching from, and hashtag KMT for a T-shirt. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting
Yeah.
uniformed. Everyone's getting a T-shirt.
And if you have any questions, we're going to be talking to Holly. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, please. Preceded with a QQQ if possible.
So we don't miss
And how are you doing today, Dr. Kiltz?
I'm awake.
it.
I might have been partying a little late last night and dancing with some great music and celebrating San Antonio, but mostly celebrating reproductive medicine and how we're advancing what we're doing. But you know, and what we're talking about is natural and nurturing, and how nutrition. And I had some really great conversations with a lot of amazing people about integrated nutrition, and a lot of people very excited and interested in talking about this. And Kilt's Mighty Tribe was there, Dr. Nelson, and with, do you have your Nelson cap, Doctor?
I don't have it at hand right now.
All right.
But
Yeah, and again, you know, it's just real important. And what we're going to talk with Holly about is, I think, a lot of the important things, and how keto, carnivore, and maybe faith and fasting all come into play, and helping so many people here, for sure. Ultimately, you know, this is, you know, I know with Dr. Nelson and you know, me and Julio. And how it's all about our children, and helping our children reproduce and have a healthy life.
so, Holly, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your story?
Sure. Well, I'm Holly. I am 36. I feel like that's important in regards to what we're talking about. But me and my husband, we got married in 2017. We were very excited to start a family, and it didn't come natural to us like we were expecting it to. So after about five or 6 years of trying, we decided to, like, hey, maybe something's wrong. Maybe we should look into this. And unfortunately, I didn't really get a whole lot of help when I went to, like, local fertility clinics and things like that. I mean, I got, like, very shallow answers, and it was like a lot of time, like, space between my appointments. So it just seemed like we were burning through a lot of time. And then ultimately, I found out a year after starting fertility appointments and fertility consultations that I had severely low AMH, which they couldn't give me any answers on how to fix that. Like, there's just no answers. Low AMH, it's just, and maybe Dr. Kiltz, you can speak to this and explain more about what that is. But when I got that diagnosis, I was like, okay, what are our options? And they said IVF, you know, you could try IUI, which we did, and it didn't work. So the next step was looking into IVF, and IVF is really expensive. So I started to look, you know, at all of our options. You know, is there any assistance out there? Is there anywhere that I can, you know, get some things done, you know, at a more affordable price? And I ran across CNY Fertility, and that has been the greatest gift. I'm a woman of faith, and through all this process, I have prayed. My husband has prayed. Our family has prayed, and we believe for our miracle. And we started our journey in, I think, 2023, in April of 23. and got to meet with some great people and have some consultations. But honestly, Dr. Kiltz, I just started following you. I started joining all of your lives. I started asking questions. I started getting into carnivore, and I started carnivore in July of 2023, and had my first egg retrieval 3 months after that, because that was to your guidance. You said, give it a few months, let it work, do its work on your eggs. And I wanted to give myself the best chance possible. So I did my egg retrieval in October of that year. And unfortunately, we knew we weren't going to have many eggs, and we only got 2. And so that was very devastating in itself. But both of those eggs were mature, both were able to be fertilized, and both made it to day 3 for freeze, which was a miracle. And we were so happy about. So we did the first transfer the following month in October, and unfortunately that transfer did fail. And so we said, you know what, we're traveling for the holidays, let's just take some time off, we're not going to stress, and then we'll consider what our options are, obviously considering doing another egg retrieval, or if we were just going to do the next embryo transfer. And then January 9th, 2024, Dr. Kiltz, I had a phone call with you, and I spoke with you about, I said, I'm nervous about, I had a surgery coming up, an exploratory surgery to see if I had endometriosis, and they were going to remove it. And I didn't want to have that done if that was going to hurt our chances of getting more eggs in the future. And from what you said, we kept the appointment the way that it was. We were going to move forward with the surgery. And later that day, I took a pregnancy test, and it was positive. Spontaneous pregnancy throughout this process, of which we had just done IVF, and it had failed. So 6 months into carnivore, I got pregnant naturally.
I love that. It's so beautiful. Can I
And
show the picture?
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Here you go.
This is my beautiful family. That's little Tucker.
Oh, he's awesome.
Amazing.
And I don't know if you meant to keep this from the live audience, but do you have any other announcements?
I do. We just found out that I'm pregnant again.
I love that. Oh my God.
So-
Naturally.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Because we were planning. I've already started the phone calls and getting ready to do our next transfer. And I got
Wow.
pregnant again.
Love that.
So what do we espouse all this to, that you have diminished ovarian reserve, and I think part of the story now, diminished ovarian reserve means a low AMH, anti-Mullerian hormone, which is a marker for a number of eggs, quality of eggs, and chances of conception, although it's an imperfect test. Your cause of infertility, besides that number, is you have regular cycles, open tubes, and the sperm is okay. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the answer is kind of, I don't know.
Mhm.
And you had nothing else to say, the why part of it. And carnivore, tell us a little bit about your carnivore journey,
Yeah.
or keto diet, or how you sort of approach that, and what was your plan, your nutrition, your diet plan?
Absolutely. So I ate a lot of eggs, and my husband is a grill master, thank goodness. So my husband would smoke steaks every single night for us. I mean, we would go and get ribeyes every single night, and I would always get the ribeyes because there's the fatty meat. And I would microwave butter, and I would dip every bite of my ribeye in butter and eat it, because I know you said something about a stick of butter a day. And I mean, I probably wasn't doing a stick of butter a day, but I was putting butter in my coffee. I mean, I was trying to do everything that I could.
And part of the idea, I believe, is that our gut is highly inflamed due to a standard diet. What was your diet prior to the carnivore journey, or prior to when we spoke?
Yeah, so I've actually done quite a few diets in my life. I seem to kind of jump on things and jump off, but I do mostly like a whole foods diet. Like I really enjoy sweet potatoes, those kinds of things, but like natural foods and not a whole lot of breads, that kind of thing.
And so when you went carnivore, how much of the things like the sweet potatoes were you still consuming?
Zero.
Wow. And how easy was this? I mean, it must not have been an easy new plan for you.
Honestly, it was a pretty easy move for me because, like I said, I wanted a baby so bad, and I would have done anything. And I mean, cutting out the vegetables is all right. I mean, a vegetable is like a filler anyway. I mean, I can say that now because I was carnivore for so long, but you don't need it. And it was so, I mean, thankfully, it was like I said, I had my husband that was very supportive. So yeah, it wasn't very hard for me at all.
And did you have any other changes besides you got pregnant? Did you feel any different? Did you, was it, again, like the most miserable thing, just eating meat and butter, or was it like some magic to it?
So I didn't, honestly, physically, I didn't feel any different. I know some people have say one way or the other that, it made them really sick or it made them feel really great. I didn't feel any difference. However, I will say I've had psoriasis my whole life, never gotten rid of it. I mean, I've had medication, I've had ointments, I've had everything. It doesn't go away, never. And at month 5, I noticed my psoriasis was gone. Like, not like a little better, like it disappeared. It was completely gone.
Wow. And did you wind up having the laparoscopy for endometriosis and looking?
I did not. It was because I was already pregnant.
Yeah. And you were, tell me a little bit about your feelings, like why you kind of like, oh, I don't want to do that.
For the laparoscopy.
Yeah. What was your resistance to it? Just curious how people feel about these sort of invasive procedures.
Sure. Yeah. And I honestly, I would have gone in for it because I wanted answers. I wanted, if that's what it was, if I needed a laparoscopy to help me conceive, I would have done it. Absolutely. And so that was my plan, but I was nervous. I was hesitant because I had heard that it could possibly affect my eggs even more, could possibly hurt my chances of getting more eggs in the future.
And part of my theory here is that a mostly plant, low-fat animal meat diet, which is most of our standard diet, fruits, fiber, vegetables, seeds, nuts, lean meat, little to no fat. I had last night, I was at a beautiful dinner sponsored by, I got to throw out our good friends at Progenesis, who sponsored a dinner here and bringing the people together with new and different ideas. And, one of the things I work on is how do we work with standard medicine and begin to infuse it with these ideas of natural and nutrition and things like that. I had salmon and Dr. Newhauser shared with me some of his baked chicken. Looked really good. I took the skin, but I got all the butter I could and just added it, a little salt. And even though it was sitting on top of asparagus and a potato, it was really amazing. And I think part of the butter's benefit is it reduces the microbes in the gut. And the microbes in the gut cause fermentation, alcohol, aldehydes, heat, gas, and the microbes they traverse through the gastrointestinal mucosal, and they inflame and infect the tubes, uterus, ovaries, and peritoneal surfaces, and basically trash the egg, sperm, embryos, and either prevent natural, normal ovulation and interaction of the egg and the sperm and or implantation. And so, it's a concept that we just we don't talk enough about. There's so much bloating and bowel problems, which I think are causing this particular issue, and carnivore really helps. Once you were pregnant with your little one, what's her name?
His name's Tucker.
Tucker. And did you stay carnivore throughout, or particularly in the first trimester? And what'd you do afterwards?
Sure. Yeah. I did not stay carnivore. It was pretty much right after I found out I was pregnant. My appetite completely changed. So, I mean, I guess the first 6 weeks or so I was carnivore,
Good.
but yeah, after that, I did not want a steak. I could not. I was just sick about it. So I did not stay carnivore. But sorry, what was the last part of your question?
Well, yeah, and then once you delivered, how you maintain your diet, and did you kind of go back to that
Sure.
carnivore?
Yeah. So I have not gone back to strictly carnivore, but I mean, we kind of base our meals around the same thing. I mean, we still eat steaks. I still dip it in butter like I used to. I still eat a lot of eggs. And I still try to eat, additional butter when I can, because I didn't mention this, but right before, probably around, I got pregnant in December the first time. And then it was probably around the beginning of November. I saw a clip of yours on Instagram about a stick of butter a day. So I started adding even more butter than I did to my diet. And that is when I noticed my psoriasis went away and when I got pregnant.
And I believe again, the butter suppresses the microbes, which the microbes in our body are there. I'm not sure when we say, how valuable they are. I think they're not as valuable as they say, but by suppressing them, you reduce the inflammation in the gut, which reduces vaginal, cervical, uterine inflammation and reduces pelvic inflammation. And endometriosis is really a gastrointestinal infection, which becomes a pelvic infection. And I don't know if you ever did the antibiotic protocol, because we do a lot of the antibiotic protocol also. But butter, Dr. Nelson and Holly, maybe you would comment, and you too, Holly, have you ever seen butter that molds? You
No.
leave it out and it becomes all moldy.
We have it out on the table. It's just there, and underneath the glass thing, it's there forever. Or not forever, because we eat it really fast, but
but essentially forever, right?
yeah.
Right. And maybe you could comment on milk products and your use of those sort of things in your diet.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't drink milk, but I did use heavy cream. So I would when I started carnivore, I was really, really hardcore into strictly carnivore, and then I kind of went more keto carnivore. So I was able to eat like more, I guess just have more options when I go to the grocery store. So I started using like heavy cream to like make like a snack or a dessert, like kind of use a little bit of like pudding mixed with like heavy cream, and like just to give myself like a treat or whatever. But I would use heavy cream. Maybe in my coffee, sometimes I would do my coffee, I would do butter and heavy cream, and then just have heavy cream as like a treat every once in a while.
And you otherwise felt very healthy on your journey to have a baby. I mean, so you had really been trying to have a baby for about 5 years without success, despite the fact that nothing seemed to be wrong.
Exactly.
And we call that idiopathic or unexplained infertility. I always say idiopathic means we're idiots, and no disrespect to any of us doctors, but we're sort of we have blinders on. And I don't know, Dr. Nelson, maybe you could comment on this, and you too, Holly, and all of you. Did any other doctors ever ask, hey, what do you eat, and maybe you should change your diet, and here's some recommendations?
Nope. I will tell you, when I saw that endometriosis specialist, this was obviously the consultation before I was supposed to have the laparoscopy. And I told her the diet that I was on, and she looked at me like I was crazy. She said, "You can't eat like that." She said, "That's not good for your health. What about your cholesterol? What about this? What about that?" And I was kind of caught like a deer in the headlights, because, obviously I'm following your direction, my IVF doctor, and she's telling me I'm absolutely crazy. And, so I actually had followed up with you on your carnivore calls, and I was like, "Dr. Kiltz, what about my cholesterol?" And you're like, "Don't check it. Don't worry about it."
Well, cholesterol is a precursor for estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, which are all very important hormones. And then again, I think the low fat diet is our biggest failure. And you can consume some plants in small amounts, and I think the tubers, small amounts of potatoes, small amounts of rice with more fat. I'm not a greens salad person. I think that's where a lot of fermentation happens. I mean, I don't know if you have any bloating. Have you had any history of bloating and things like that?
No.
No, just infertility. And I guess the question is, what are we born for? To be doctors, lawyers, and accountants, and many other things, or to be moms and dads?
Exactly.
The moms and dads are the most important thing to be on this journey. And this is now, Dr. Nelson, this is your first meeting at the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. Amazing, thousands of people from all around the globe, and many people sharing technical equipment and ideas and supplements and things like that. And you mentioned, you haven't run into any other crazy people talking about eating steak, have you?
I haven't run about anyone talking about anything about nutrition except some companies that have nutritional supplements, but not about the diet, not about this is the way you should be eating. From any perspective, by the way. I mean, I haven't run across anyone saying vegan is the best diet for getting pregnant.
I guess that question is, why are we infertile, and are we missing something? Is that our cause, or are we likely infected and inflamed by something? Because again, eczema, psoriasis, redness, heat, itching, swelling, those are indications of inflammation. And if the inflammation appears on the outside, there's inflammation likely on the inside. And butter seems to reduce inflammation. Cream may do that. Some people may have some reactive allergies also to milk products, but I know for myself, I do really well. I am having some coffee today, no cream, no butter yet. I just didn't have it in the room. Ali and Dr. Nelson didn't prepare me with any. What do your friends and family, Holly, think about your keto carnivore fertility journey?
Well, now they love it. Obviously, it worked, but at first, my husband was like, "No, absolutely not. That doesn't sound like a good thing to do. I don't think you should eat just meat." He's like, "That's all you're going to eat is just meat?" And I was like, "Yeah, like meat and animal products, like that's it." I'm like, "But it's look at all these people that it's worked for. Like it's not just me saying it." So that was a challenge to kind of introduce my husband to it. But then also, my mother naturally had concerns about it too. She's like, "You can't eat like that." But obviously I'm a grown woman, I said, I'm going to do it. And this is what's going to happen. And I mean, I did it for probably a month, and, they started to say, "Well, like, how are you feeling? Like, you look okay. Like, nothing's really changed." And I'm like, "I'm doing great. Like, I don't really know. I don't see any difference. I don't know why this should be harmful, why people are scared of this diet." And then I started seeing different things, like my psoriasis went away, which was, in my mother's eyes, she's seen me since a child, struggle with psoriasis. And she's, of course, had compassion for me. And when she saw that, my mother actually started doing carnivore with me. And I've actually had friends of mine that have started doing it. And Their husbands have started doing it, and it's healed things like high blood pressure. It's healed rashes. It's healed other things. And it's really been an incredible movement, not only in my life, but the people around me that have seen this work.
You have added some foods back. Have you had any recurrence of the psoriasis?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So it came back right after I got pregnant with my son, and my first pregnancy, because I had to change my diet because I was sick. So I changed from carnivore or keto carnivore into eating more, I guess processed foods. And that's when it started coming back. And yeah, it's pretty much back to where it was. And actually, since I had my son, it's gotten worse. Not a whole lot worse, but it has gotten worse. Now, I have heard that
But now you know what to do.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely. And now I'm pregnant again. So I definitely will be going back to carnivore.
Well, I think the buddies, bring a buddy along on a carnivore diet. And there was a comment. What was that comment that you took down, Ali? I just wanted to
Hulk
yeah,
24.
Hulk 24. So people hate on things they don't understand. That is true. That's our nature. It's our instinct, by the way. It's not personal, but they haven't done it, as he mentions, and the lack of knowledge and self-awareness of things we consume. So you can thank you, Ali. It really is important to recognize, and that's one of the reasons we're here at the American Society of Reproductive Medicine with all of our colleagues, sharing ideas that maybe something as simple as a carnivore or keto diet, or adding fat to your foods could reduce inflammation in the gut, which reduces systemic inflammation, which ultimately can help heal. And that's what we're here to do. And the more we bring opposite ideas to the table, people go like, they've been talking about it. And so, it's you bring the story in a very bright, kind way. And I think that's what, I certainly can be a little loud and a little dramatic and a little sort of like, you got to do this. And if you don't, you're an idiot. But I've learned that I look in the mirror on that one, and, we're here to share ideas. And I don't know, do you know anyone else that's suffering from fertility issues out there, or psoriasis, like your mom?
I have a couple of friends that are struggling with infertility that I know about. I mean, nobody talks about it. If a woman is in her 30s and she doesn't have kids, I mean, you kind of just think, oh, well, maybe she just doesn't want to have kids. But because of my story, because I'm very open about it, I have people that talk to me about it, and they say, I'm kind of going through the same thing. And I point them in the same direction. I'm like, I know this sounds crazy, but eat carnivore. And I tell them, that's what worked for me. I mean, of course, my faith plays into everything, and I believe everything happens for a reason when it's supposed to, all in God's timing. But I believe that God led me to Dr. Kiltz, and I believe that God inspired me to do the carnivore diet so that I could have a family. And I'm not ashamed to tell anybody about my process and what worked for me. And I'm hoping that my friends will follow in my footsteps to give them an opportunity, because I know what it's like. I know what it feels like, and it's devastating.
Yeah. It is hard. The sort of the why me conversation, and wonder if you kind of felt any sort of depression or really feeling that hardship. But the stories, and I don't know if you heard any other keto carnivore stories on the journey and fertility at all, or read anything.
I did. So I actually have your cookbook that you wrote with Maria Emmerich, and there are testimonials in there, and that's what made me a believer. I'm looking through this cookbook, and then I get to the testimonials, and I'm like, there's page after page after page after page of these women that did keto carnivore, and they got pregnant.
And my good friend Marie Emmerich helped share that and helped create it with us, and we're really proud of what we've done together. And keto really is an amazing concept and idea, which is basically more fat. I think eat less frequently, cook the plants. I think more rare to raw meat and more fat, but it doesn't have to be that way 100%. What's your experience with salt and or minerals and electrolytes at all?
Sure. I guess when I was doing carnivore, I didn't really extra salt anything. I never really felt the need to do that. I know some people had have had some weird issues, and salt has kind of corrected it. But I guess it was because, my husband seasons our steaks with salt and pepper. So, I mean, I guess that's where I was getting a lot of my salt from there. And we have a reverse osmosis water filtration system, and that actually has a remineralization filter on it. So it puts those minerals back in there for me.
How we doing with comments and questions in the chat today? And again, it really is such an important part of this. I mean, do you think women, or is the message that we're taught that we're not eating meat, red meat, fatty meat? And interesting, at the dinner, which was very delicious, by the way, I had salmon, as I mentioned, a little bit of chicken. There's red meat. Is it something we're sort of afraid to eat or told not to eat?
I believe so. I mean, because it's fat, and I mean, as women, we don't want to be fat, so we have been taught to avoid the fat. But when I went carnivore and I did all of these things, my husband actually said, and bless his heart, oh my goodness, he's going to kill me for saying this on live, but he was like, Holly, don't you think that's going to make you gain weight? And my response was, I don't care, whatever it does. If it gets me pregnant, like, I can fix that later if it makes me gain weight. But it didn't. It did the opposite. Like I lost weight, maybe like 10 pounds or something, over the course of 6 months. But I mean, you would think eating all of that would just, make you pack on the pounds, and it didn't. But yeah, you're right. That's what we're told as women: eat chicken, eat lean meats, eat, vegetables only, don't eat butter.
Well, I could say at least for the chicken. Dr. Newhauser had the chicken. I kind of looked at it because it had a ton of the skin all over it. It was it was like a half a chicken. And they give me a little piece of salmon. Thankfully, he couldn't eat it all. And then he's like, he pushed the plate over to me. I'm like, nah. Then I'm like, okay. But the skin, the fat, which again, of all the things we're really taught, is a low-fat diet might be our biggest problem. And by adding fat, we reduce the gut inflammation, systemic inflammation, and voila, natural. And so this term, diminished ovarian reserve, is it true? Or is it another diagnostic label that we're using to define an inflammatory environment secondary to a deadly diet? And by simply making the changes, suddenly you're reproducing, and you had a baby, you're pregnant again, and it sounds to me like your keto carnivore way of living is in your day to day. I think for at least the first trimester, if we could do that, if not throughout your pregnancy, but and then post pregnancy. Oh, and by the way, the American College of OBGYN, a great group of doctors and other healthcare professionals, has really shared the diet they recommend, which is a Mediterranean fruit, fiber, vegetable, seeds, nuts, salad, lean meat, little to no red meat, infrequently at best, and soy meat. There is such a thing, Dr. Nelson. You can comment on that. And
You mean
red,
soy fake meat?
yes, fake
Soy
meat.
meat.
Yeah, and they also recommend red wine for pregnant lactating women. Holly, is alcohol something you really focus on drinking every day?
No, I actually have not drank alcohol in 7 years.
Wow.
Amazing.
And so what amount of alcohol, Dr. Nelson, would you say is healthy and okay to drink? Is that a zero you're putting up there?
Yes.
And sharing with all of us. And really, really grateful for all the people in healthcare and all sides of it. We're really sharing an opposite idea and knowledge that we've just completely ignored. And I think is the keto carnivore community, giving up and walking away and saying, forget it, you're right, never mind?
I don't know. It seems some people are backtracking, but
But are they eliminating meat, or are they just adding
no.
plants?
I don't think they're eliminating meat.
Right. And so I think what we're saying is, and Holly she did carnivore and then got pregnant and then sounds more keto, but this time you're really keto because you're adding the fat and you're not full carnivore. And so what I've been saying, and that's the whole point here, is that we need to realize that scientifically and environmentally, reducing inflammation by adding the butter maybe all people need in this. Salad. Are you a big salad eater, Holly?
No, never have been.
And how many meals a day do you typically consume?
Now that I'm pregnant, I have 3, but normally 2.
And do you do any fasting on a regular basis?
No, I don't. I mean, other than like intermittent fasting, like for certain hours of the day.
Do you have any other habits? And maybe you could talk a little bit about your spirituality, your faith, and how you might utilize those actively in your life, in your day, in the process of mental health and wellness, which may lead to also physical health and wellness?
Sure, absolutely. Well, my faith is the greatest thing in the world to me. It's what got me through the 6 years of infertility and dealing with all that. So yeah, in regards to mental health, I couldn't have made it through all of that without having the Lord by my side and helping me walk through that. And for my husband as well. But yeah, I mean, my faith is everything. And I think that is what helped me get pregnant. I know that I did things, in my efforts, but the Lord had a plan and he directed me. And without his say, I wouldn't have baby number 1 or baby number 2.
The Lord has a plan and we have faith in it. And meditation and prayer is a way of reducing cortisol and epinephrine, fight or flight. Dr. Nelson, cortisol and epinephrine that is high all the time, is that good for our vessels, our heart, our reproductive system?
No. All these things are necessary, but when they are in excess, they don't turn out good, because your body cannot be in one speed or one mode 24/7, whether it's up or down, by the way.
Mhm.
The idea that you're always in high stress, which is cortisol, epinephrine, low oxytocin, serotonin, which are rest and reproduce, versus fight and flight, which is really important. And meditation and prayer, you've kind of been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I always say faith is first. And humanity in general has worked to share the idea of faith and belief in a higher power, whether you call it God, nature, sun, earth, wind, and fire, the moon gods, or whatever it is. And it's community. Maybe you could talk a little bit, Holly, about your community.
Yeah. So I have a strong church family, and I have lots of friends and a big family. So when we were walking through this journey for the first 5 years, we didn't tell anybody that we were dealing with infertility, because I mean, it's just not really something that you want to share. You kind of just, people are wondering, like, hey, they got married like 5-6 years ago. Like, are they wanting to have kids? So it's just kind of awkward. But when we finally got to the point where we were like, okay, we need to figure this out, and we got the news, that I had the severely low AMH and that our chances of conceiving are slim to none. We obviously wanted the support of our church family and our family and friends, and we wanted, we believe that prayer changes things. So we asked our church family to pray for us and our family to pray for us, and they did. I mean, our whole church got up and got around us on a Sunday morning, surrounded us, and we all, prayed and asked God to heal my body. And so, I mean, obviously that could be part of it too. And I absolutely believe that it is, but God did heal my body. And who knows what would have happened if we didn't have that community.
The thoughts in our mind are vibrational energy, electromolecular signals that are sent out to the world, and they're received by all of our cells. And so we're both a transmitter and a receiver. And prayer, Dr. Roger Lobo years ago wrote, and a paper was published about how prayer helps people conceive. Now, ultimately, the paper was pulled because there was some controversy. But
wow.
I always ask the question, do most doctors and medical professionals believe in God?
Most do, yeah.
The answer is yes, they do. And yet, in general, Dr. Nelson, would you say that talking about God and faith in your medical practice was highly recommended and inspired by our medical schools and residency training programs?
No, when I had my own office, I didn't have a boss telling me I could or could not talk about anything. So that was different. But when I've worked for other people, then I have to be more diplomatic about what I discuss with patients.
So I think what we're sharing is lead like Jesus. And if you haven't read Sarah Young's book, Jesus Calling or Jesus Always, and Ken Blanchard's book, Lead Like Jesus, it's a business book. for inspiring all of us to lead our lives in our business every single day, and talk about how important faith is. I always say faith first, fatty foods, fasting, and all of this will simply lead to fertility. And Bronwyn, we had breakfast yesterday. Aunt Mary said, make sure you put your lipstick on before he comes home every day.
That's a good tip.
And really, the whole idea is it is important to stay inspired in life. And I hope, I mean, I started blogging about 20 plus years ago, and I wrote a blog called Mind, Body, Smile. And I don't know, I think there's still some stuff out there lingering on the World Wide Web about faith. And for me, faith really helped fix me first. And I want to say more so than diet. But then when I found keto and carnivore, it just supercharged my life. And Dr. Nelson, would you say Dr. Kiltz has fallen off the carnivore diet, or he's still strong and full, but he might from time to time treat with a little bit of cookie cake or ice cream or a French fry from time to time, because Kiltz, we look at life, maybe I always look at life as overflowing, and rather than half full or half empty, or I always say it's just overflowing and positive. And I don't care if you're a vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, pescatarian, or carnivorian, faith is first, and have faith in God, whatever religion you might think about. But this humanity is a believer in God. And I think religions have been all are just together. Tricks,
Rick.
not treats. Rick is trying to get me to eat iguanas every day.
You better
And,
bring some to hack your health.
Yeah, some roasted iguana on a stick, or dried iguana, and maybe iguana tail.
Jerky.
Iguana tail.
Jerky. Iguana tail. Rick, you've got your orders.
Iguana
Holly,
tail.
sorry. Holly, do you have any, besides running around, perhaps after, is Tucker walking already?
He
I'm
is.
assuming. Okay. So besides running around your child, do you have any other exercise routines?
So I walk a lot. I live in a neighborhood that's got sidewalks, so me and Tucker are outside walking, or I push him around in his little car. But other than that, no.
Okay,
I don't have any other exercise right now.
Walking's the best.
Yeah,
Any questions, Alia?
We have one question, but it's a general question.
Good.
I've been inspiring my mom to consider carnivore diet. She's type 2 diabetic with bipolar depression. Any tips on how to best start? I'm particularly concerned about the amount of insulin.
Well, be the example is the first thing, because you cannot push anyone else to do anything unless they might look at your example. Just like Holly mentioned, her mother came around and did that with her. So yes, providing some information will help. If you see a YouTube video from anyone that explains things in a simple manner, and you can show it to her, but she's gonna have to make her own decision.
Join Kiltz Mighty Tribe for free. Invest in a carnivore keto coaching certificate with Kiltz Mighty Tribe, Dr. Nelson. And we have our Kiltz's Keto Carnivore book, our baby's book, and it's pronounced babies. Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, kilts, ice cream, salt, 1 meal a day. That's the way, or two, 1 meal, 1 snack. And really we have, and then my book with Marie Emmerich, Keto for Fertility, is really good out there. And Dr. Nelson, is type 2 diabetes and bipolar depression just something you have for life, and there's no way of clearing it up? Or is it possibly a disease that's secondary to poisoning with plants in a low-fat diet?
Well, certainly it's not a permanent thing, because we keep seeing almost daily people reversing those. And, bipolar illness can be very serious, but all levels of mental illnesses, I would think a schizophrenic might be the most severe form of the mental illnesses, right? And people have reversed these problems
Eliminate.
going either keto or carnivore. So
Our good friend Georgia Ede wrote a book. What was the name of the book, Don? Do you remember the name of the book?
It's
Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. And Dr. Christopher Palmer wrote Brain Energy. Both I highly recommend.
And is the problem mitochondrial ATP production, or is it likely nanomotor function and post-translational modification of a protein which is damaged, and our neuromuscular junctions are damaged, and our endocrine producing cells are damaged due to plant poisoning, most likely?
Yes. Eat fatty meat and you will solve whatever the problem is. It seems to get better. I mean, you can try to understand the technical, and these are all theories, right? And then we try to prove it with some studies, but whatever is happening, the ultimate proof might be that people keep getting better when they go low carb, high fat, carnivore.
The Church of Scientology. When you go to the Church of Scientology, do they have Scientific America journals that we all sit and read and pray to? Or is it still a biblical text?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking, maybe.
No.
Right.
No.
It's sort of this idea, like we're sort of like the publications of science is answering the question. Has it yet?
No.
But the
Science
Bibles
has
of the
not.
world are the human stories of our evolution. And ultimately, these stories that we all bring together are like the most powerful. I became a minister in order to provide marriage ceremonies, but I love preaching the Gospels and how powerful that is. And again, the scientific journal to go to war, or the Bible? Which one are you going to say? I'm like, I know the answer's in here. Does scientific theory, it's a theory. What does theory mean, Dr. Nelson?
It's a hypothetical supposition, basically. I think it works this way. It's an opinion.
It's an opinion, right? And opinions that they did. And so when we have a scientific theory and we produce some sort of formula, does it sometimes change and we prove it was wrong, it was something else? Yeah. I think that's it. It's sort of like we thought one thing, it turns out another. But the theory of God, are we waiting for a new concept and idea, or do we just go back to our ancient roots and what our mother's story was?
Certainly, we go back to the beginning, so to speak. And science is ever changing. You know, if you don't question the science, it will never change, because if you allow whatever is established, oh, it's only that way. But we know that questioning the science is the science.
Go, Alia.
We kept clicking it at the same time. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. There you go. Thank you so much for your super chat, Ricky Lee.
The word is the way. And I think Karen McMath has a question there also, I think, behind that.
Let's get that one.
Yeah, ultimately, how many times do people just ramble in their mind? Oh, I'm a failure. This should never happen. And maybe, we can comment on that, Holly, and how, do you think carnivore strengthens or keto our mindset and our faith conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it all ties together.
We humans like to sort of bring it all together, and our Bibles are I think this is go ahead with that one, and then we get the next one.
Okay. Karen McMath, what brand of RO water does Holly use that puts minerals back in?
Water filter.
It's Water Drop.
Water Drop. Interesting.
Get it on Amazon. I just had to look it up because I wasn't sure.
That's awesome.
Mr. Cast Iron says, my faith is not a theory, but an experience. Yeah, we're here to experience life. That's why we come on live. We're going to be Monday through Friday. Today, for Dr. Nelson and Kiltz, it's 5 a.m. time. Alia, what time is for you down where you're at?
Same time, 5 a.m.
Yeah, which, it's really the 5 a.m. club. That's what we brought together to bring people together and up early every day. Although I didn't go to bed until 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was dancing and MDR, great, amazing, a part of what we do in our standard world of reproductive medicine and helping a lot of people, by the way, sponsored a great, amazing gathering of people to dance and song and connection. And again, it is really, really spectacular. And it's an experience, and that's what this is about. It's community experience. I think we need our music, our intro and extra. Work out those again.
We'll figure it out.
We got to mix it up a little bit. And I think I sent a link with our friend down in Panama, not Panama, Costa Rica. His wife have a yoga studio down there, and we got to get with Charles Maddox from Reverse TV about doing some things again. Also, Alia, remembering that. A lot of things come my way, but I'm like, and my ex-wife Gina, who's amazing, mother of my beautiful child. There was some comments that Kiltz had manic depression, ADHD, OCD, bipolar, autistic, all those sort of things. And ultimately, I think I was just poisoned by plants. It's not a theory, it's an experience. All right, let's go ahead and hit the KMT for
we gotta do the KMT button.
Yeah. And it's religion is positive talk. That's what this is about, bringing in positive talk to the story. Whether you believe in God or not, doesn't matter. Religious or not, doesn't matter.
Mr. Cast Iron, congratulations, Mike. Please email me your address, and we will get you your giveaway.
And following up on KMT in the morning is old guy carnivore Mitch, our good friend. And remember, there's a little bit of bantering back and forth for all of us. We do, it's part of the online message and the live work we do. And that's the part that I love. We're sometimes we're poking the bear. Kiltz and Mitch and even Alia and Nelson, we're a little dramatic, and that's all okay. Let's see. There's Hack Your Health and we're encouraging people to sign up for Hack Your Health. Go to drkiltz.com or Kiltz Health and sign up for our Friday dinner. We're working with Healing Humanity, Meat Stock, and all of our brothers and sisters, by the way. And I think, again, it's keto, carnivore, fasting, but the most important thing is
Faith.
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 And I think there was a comment like, all you need to do is look in the mirror and you'll find the thing you're looking for. It's God within all of us. Yeah, sparkling energy everywhere. So, any other things? A course is going great. Sign up for the next course. You get a carnivore coaching certificate through Kiltz Mighty Tribe, and Holly, we are really, really, really grateful for you being here and sharing your story. Most important thing is our families, building our families.
Yes.
And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Dr. Nelson, I'll see you at the booth this morning,
Yep.
bright and early. And again, we're connecting with people around the world, positive ways, and sharing ideas that are radical.
Radical ideas. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Mike, make sure to email me for your giveaway. Okay. Goodbye.